Time for business, we could say. Anyone for tennis? Kate Moody joins us. Hi. French Open has got underway here in Paris. You've been looking at the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the tournament's finances.
Yeah, because of course we've seen in the last year the worlds of business and sports colliding ever more. This year, a limited number of fans are allowed to attend, as we're seeing at sporting events in a growing number of countries, including this weekend's final of the Champions League in Portugal. The restrictions, though, still mean a second year of reduced ticket sales at Roland Garros, as Catherine Viette reports.
Eager tennis fans lined up to enter the Roland Garros complex as the French Grand Slam got underway. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, strict audience caps have been set, ranging from 15 to 35% capacity. That translates into just over 5,000 spectators a day through June 8th, and then for the end of the tournament, when restrictions are eased further, just over 13,000 visitors a day. The French Tennis Federation estimates that it will sell around 118,000 tickets this year. That's down from a record high of almost 500,000 tickets in 2019, but still much better than at the height of the pandemic in 2020. All of this has taken a massive toll on the tournament's bottom line and the federation's budget. The French Open provides 80% of the FFT's income. In 2018, ticket sales represented 17%, while partnerships and public relations each accounted for about 20%. The biggest slice, of course, coming from broadcast rights at 37%. In 2020, the French Open's revenues fell just over 50% compared to 2019 to 147 million euros. Still, over the past 10 years, the Federation has spent 380 million euros modernizing the tennis complex, adding a retractable roof to the stadium court and additional seats and lighting to the main courts. The upgrades make the complex less dependent on the weather and have the added bonus of allowing evening matches, an attractive prospect for broadcasters who can now air the matches during prime time.
Let's check in on the day's trading action now. A relatively light session saw losses for the CAC 40 here in Paris and the DAX in Frankfurt. German stocks retreating from last week's record highs as data show inflation in the Eurozone's largest economy hitting 2.5%. That's its highest level since 2018. London's FTSE 100 was closed for a bank holiday, as was Wall Street for Memorial Day. Moving on to some of the day's other business headlines now. Well, that holiday weekend in the United States has seen a boom in domestic travel. Some 6 million people were expected to fly, with nearly 2 million passing through airport security on Friday. That's the highest level since the pandemic began. Road traffic was also up around 60% on last year. Memorial Day traditionally kicks off the summer season in the U.S. Nestle is reviewing its brands after an internal document labeled 60% of its food and drink products as unhealthy. The Swiss giant said it's updating its nutrition and health strategy, including reducing sugar and sodium content. The Financial Times was the first to report on that overhaul. And top-ranking finance officials who have received the COVID vaccine will be exempt from Hong Kong's strict quarantine requirements. The government said it was trying to protect its status as an international finance center. 2 banking executives from any given organization can apply for that free pass per month, but they'll have to take several COVID tests and inform authorities of their schedule. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has revised its forecast for this year upwards. The organization expects the global economy to grow 5.8% this year. That's up from its last forecast of 4.2% in December. The U.S. outlook has been nearly doubled to 6.9% before slowing down slightly next year. And the EU is on track to expand 4.3% in 2021 and 4.4% in 22. But the OECD has warned that many headwinds persist, including the slow pace of vaccination in developing countries. And it says that the economic recovery will be uneven, with developing economies and the most vulnerable populations lagging behind.
Many borders could continue to stay closed, further hampering trade, tourism, investment, and ultimately jobs. Another risk is inequality. So the recovery is not only very uneven between countries, across sectors, but also across people. We need to collectively help emerging market economies more, boosting the production of vaccines, improving health infrastructure, and testing capacities.
And that was indeed a more upbeat note for Angel Gurria, whose 15 years as Secretary General of the OECD are now coming to an end. He'll be replaced by the former Australian Finance Minister, Matthias Cormann. He takes office tomorrow, Mark.
Kate, thank you very much indeed. Kate Moody of The Business. Pleasure to see you as always.